Well, we travelled for 4 years. We sailed 11,000 nautical miles and visited 21 countries. We set off in 2019. We bought the boat from the factory after doing 3 properties up in 2 years. We refurbished 3 properties, sold 2, kept 1.
So do you think there was a certain point in your life then when you suddenly knew you were an entrepreneur, as it were?
I was in the military for 5 years.
Right.
I was always working for the government because I was a firefighter for 30 years in London.
Of course.
I couldn't wait. I've been counting the days so when I could break free.
What you think makes an entrepreneur an entrepreneur?
Be fearless. You've got to be fearless in whatever you do. I think you've just got to have, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Today, guys, we've got Tony Fleming and Lana Fleming up from Bath. Tell us, guys, introduce yourselves. What have you been doing over the last couple of years?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting us to and give your time talking to us. Yeah, but it's up to Tony now.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Been looking forward to it for a while.
Yeah.
You've invited us, kindly invited us. So we're looking to, bounce off each other's and pick each other's brains, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. We'll go back and forth for sure because a lot to learn from each other.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So what have you been doing over the last couple of years within property?
Within property. Okay. About a year and a half ago now, we were finishing sailing. We had a sailboat.
Nice.
And so our aim was really, thanks to Samuel Leeds,
we
all know about Samuel Leeds, watching all these videos and stuff, and we decided to come back. We wanted to come back to the UK because we had a grandson,
right,
baby grandson, a couple of years
nice.
old, toddler.
Yes.
So we wanted to be close to him. And
it's usually change plans when the little one comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Along,
so where did you go in the sailboat? I'm curious.
Well, we travelled for 4 years. We sailed 11,000 nautical miles and visited 21 countries. We set off in 2019. We bought the boat from the factory after doing 3 properties up in 2 years. We refurbished 3 properties and sold 2, kept 1.
Nice. Okay.
So that helped pay for the yacht.
For the boat.
And also we had a passive income along with my pension from the fire service.
From the one you had left, from the property you had.
And the rent from the investment fund.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
you invested a lot in the boat then, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
2 sales houses and you put it into a boat.
Yeah, well, it's a brand spanking new boat from the factory, 42.
Have you still got the boat?
No. We had to sell that to pay for the property. So
to do more properties.
Yeah, that's what it was. We've been swanning around for 4 years, and it's time to have a break because Lana wanted a bed that wasn't moving.
Yeah, true.
Well, after 4 years, you just
I
want
bet.
to have some stability.
Yeah, of course.
There's only sort of so many sunsets and cocktails and beaches and anchorages that you can.
I totally
it gets
agree
boring
with that.
after a while.
We went to the Caribbean lately, and I was 2 days in. The gimmick of doing nothing.
Yeah.
Ended very quickly for me.
Yep.
We did about 2 days drinking cocktails by the pool on the beach, and I was like, I want to work. I want to do something. I feel like I'm not doing anything. So I ended up getting the concierge to print some documents off I needed to do. We completed on a house that week while I was in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So what made you choose sailing? What made you choose to invest that much money?
YouTube's
YouTube.
It's always
good old YouTube.
About it, so I bet lots of people just watching your podcast and thinking, I'm going to do that.
No, I think they're watching Samuel's and thinking that.
Yeah.
It's true also. But it's good to see an example of Samuel's work.
Yes, that's true. I didn't think of it like that. We're all examples of Samuel's work, really.
Really.
I always talk about him.
Samuel.
Big up Samuel. Always talk about Samuel, generally speaking, but I never thought that we're actually examples of his work, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Well, we're
I tell you very quickly my journey to find Samuel. Tony was in properties all his life.
Yeah.
I'm an accountant. I'm more in the background, just doing numbers, just doing planning, etc. Analysing. So Tony joined Academy. I was with him when we went to £1 crash course, and I the one who told Tony, just go and sign up. He was doing well, and 6 months in academy. I was a little bit jealous that he going all the parties and networking.
Yeah, I remember you coming and being in the room but not coming to the event.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And then we Samuel offered to film our journeys with Bideford Bank.
You're gonna have to tell us about that.
Yeah, it will be a little bit later.
Yeah.
And meeting Samuel, it just gave me so much confidence into learning from him. Is a massive inspiration, and I'm analytical mind. I'm risk averse. I would not spend money on something I wouldn't.
And now you're telling Tony to take risks like me. That's crazy change.
It changed my mindset. Like, you have to do it. And I love when someone say bang, 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 done.
Yeah, I'm the sensible one now. It used to be her.
Yeah. That's good though. That's good. That's growth and development, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's really good.
Yeah.
So tell us about the bank. What happened with the bank?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Totally Tony's project.
Yeah.
it's quite early on. I mean, I've been watching other YouTube videos about people buying banks, and because they were sort of selling so quickly
Buildings,
the opportunity, and they're going for really knockdown
They're
prices.
Stunning buildings.
Yeah.
They're all stunning buildings
The
for the most
architecture
part.
was
Yeah.
amazing on some of them.
Because banks in general, they used to build them to look wealthy.
And,
Yeah.
If you were, 'cause it holds the money. Yeah, always in the town centres, yeah.
Yeah, amazing buildings, and always in really good areas.
Yeah.
Right bang in the middle of town centres.
Yeah.
And they're generally the feature property on the high street.
Yeah.
So architecture-wise,
Yeah.
location-wise, they just look fantastic. They just dominate.
Carved stone and no, they're stunning.
And they normally got a lot of room upstairs as well. So that was
wasted
the idea.
space normally.
Yeah,
the upstairs generally.
Yeah. So when we were transitioning from the boat and starting the training with Samuel, I thought that would be a good one to go for because it had a tenant in at the time.
Yep.
So we had Lloyds Bank in there as our tenant. So I just felt that was really cool to actually.
Not only do I own a bank, but my tenant is Lloyds.
Yeah, they're paying me money, or us money.
Yeah, for once.
Yeah.
A bank's paying you once.
Yeah. So that was the plan, because we were transitioning and we wanted a passive income pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
To supplement my pension, which is shrinking as the years go by. So.
Because you've done a yacht.
Yeah. That is a big. It can be a money pit. Yeah.
And also because of the training with Samuel Leeds and. Help with the team, it gives more confidence. The reason why the previous landlord was selling it because banks closing their branches everywhere, so he was a little bit worried that the tenants will go. He didn't know what to do with the building. However, doing Samuel Leeds training, you know exactly what to do with the building.
Exactly.
And that was probably also the decision point.
So you know that I viewed the property just before you.
Yes, that's funny.
Which was mental.
Yeah,
so there was
you walked around it, haven't you?
Yeah, there was two properties that were like similar structure, and I loved them both. But one was already flat, but they were binging. The outside of the building was lovely, the perfect location, same as the bank. And I just, because I use investor funds, I couldn't fund the bank and give my investors their money back within 12 months because I couldn't guarantee that they were going to get out.
Yeah.
Which, as you now know, they didn't get out, did they?
No, not yet.
Not yet. So it would have screwed me. So I'm glad I made the decision at the time, but it was stunning. So like, I'm super happy for you that you got it, and someone that we knew got it.
Yeah.
But
it is challenging because they're quite difficult to deal with.
What the bank?
The management company.
As a tenant, they are not best tenants in the world.
Really?
Yeah,
in what sense?
There was a bit of a cock up over the transition from the previous landlord to us.
Whose cock up was it though?
It was
Lloyds.
solicitor.
Really?
Somewhere along the food chain.
Somewhere in the food chain.
Because Lloyds is a really big company.
Yeah.
Probably all the solicitors all send the information to Lloyds Bank PLC, and it's managed by CBRE, which is a big management company that do all Lloyds properties, etc. So because it's such a big organisation, I'm only assuming this.
Yeah.
That it got lost in transition, so they actually paid the previous landlord the quarterly rent, so they didn't pay us.
After we already purchased that, 3 months later they paid to the previous landlord instead.
Did the landlord own up?
I don't know, but
He closed his company down and disappeared.
Probably. I would have. No, I'm joking.
So actually,
did they repay you?
The first fight was the decision made that we will receive money from their mistake and then we'll pay you. So it took a little bit of effort for us to, through solicitors, say you broke the lease, so we will just apply for forfeiture and
Yeah.
We're going to throw you out.
Get you out.
So as the manager at the time, property manager at the time, just put her foot down and insisted that paid to us because we are threatening them to throw them out.
Yeah.
It was 3 months in a row and they
In
haven't paid rent
That's
because
terrible.
they paid to somebody
And we
else.
charged them interest as well.
Good. Did you actually?
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Whoa. That's
So the bank
brilliant.
paid us interest.
About time they paid some bloody interest.
It wasn't a massive amount, but it was 5
But I think
points
at the time as well,
something.
because we'd already
Good.
gone around the bank.
Bank of England, I'd have gone with that.
We'd already gone round with Samuel, so that put the sort of noses out of joint a
Yeah,
little bit, and that
I
caused a bit
remember.
of friction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
We
very.
should do it again.
And,
Yeah.
s-
They didn't enjoy us all.
Yes,
last time we went
some
round.
other
Not frosty.
areas with the lease and kind of like point pickings, they are difficult. However, as working in the business, I could understand they're closing so many branches. They've had to pay
Yeah.
so many valuation. And,
They should be big enough that they can manage
They
that,
just
though,
try
right?
to save money possible. So
Yeah.
they just try to squeeze small landlord as much as possible, not paying them. So
Yeah, they still-
that is a challenging also, which we will face. But
Yeah,
we're
they're being.
prepared for
Has
that.
it all been all right since? Everything's been on time and...
Yeah, the payments, yes, but
Yeah.
they're supposed to let
payments.
us know when they're getting out, but they're being very keeping their cards to the chest. So if we've had to use the solicitor again to serve what's known as a Section 25, they have to let us know within a certain amount of time
Right.
because they could just leave in 3 months' time.
Yes, and then you... Yeah.
So that all of a sudden we've, what do we do?
However-
Well, this is what I was saying to you earlier.
Yeah.
Get some pre-apps in.
Absolutely.
Just see what they're gonna like work with, and let you
Yeah.
see. Let's see what they.
Well,
what
we
you
were
can have.
debating putting up the to let sign. I don't think I'd be very happy about that outside the bank to let, because the locals were up in
Relocating.
arms about it as well. They weren't happy about
It
their
is the
last
last
bank in the
bank
town
in the
was going to
town.
close. So it set off a panic in all the media, local media and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there must be a cash point at the local supermarket or whatever.
Yeah, there's cash points around. Yeah.
What are they? Are the locals only using Lloyds just because they're the only one there?
Well, it's the only bank.
Probably the only reason they're staying alive then.
Yeah.
If they're the only bank left and everyone's opening a Lloyds account because it's easier for them to deal with people in store, because old people don't like
Yeah.
online
absolutely,
stuff today for the
absolutely,
most part.
Paul. I have to say that so many towns around where they just closed all the banks.
Yeah,
completely.
yeah.
There's no banks. Or
Yeah, there's
cash
barely
machines.
any here.
But there is some.
So Lloyds is still going though, funnily enough.
Yeah, but
You just saw-
they're investing in banking hubs now.
They're investing in banking hubs.
Banking hubs.
What,
yeah.
where you'll have like a little desk for each?
Well, no. It's basically it started off by a charity actually.
Right.
Started bringing banking back to town centres that didn't have banks, so they'd open up like a post office type thing and have a different bank each day of the week.
Okay.
So the bank, rather than having a big
Like a
building,
pop-up shop.
Yeah. So they'd have like Lloyds will come in on the Monday, NatWest will come in on the Tuesday, so
Yeah.
people could go face to face. And
And
obviously
it's
they're
so
only paying for
Queuing
one
out
day.
the door though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they're only paying for 4 days in a month, then, aren't they?
Yeah,
Really,
save
the
money
bank.
to the bank, save lives for elderly people who can't drive or can't use online.
Let's hope the bank's not going to save their life.
No, I mean,
So that's
some pensioners. Some
No, I know, they
pensioners can't go and draw money. Or
And have you ever tried to ring the bank?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, good gracious me. Like, we know what we're doing. And we're like, old people are like, what did he say? And then they have to re-listen to it. And it's a nightmare for them.
Yeah, and-
But even me, I can't get through. I'm like pushing buttons like,
It's not only
thanks,
that,
give me a human.
it's the security you've got to get through as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah. Oh, security, yeah.
like a
What,
nightmare.
what was your code when you were 8 years old? I don't know.
How long you bank with us? Hold on a
Yeah,
minute.
go 53 years. I don't know. It's
What
just
month did you bank with us?
Absolute nightmare, isn't it?
It is getting harder and harder. And
super uncomfortable.
That's what I'm saying, saving lives. It's just shocking. And my mum gets so stressed. And
For
I
frustration,
had to
sure.
drive her to a nearby town who's got
A bank.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so that's we bought that building, which is beautiful.
So you've gone from investing into property to taking the money out of that
Yeah.
to buy a yacht,
Yeah.
which is only depreciating, as you now know.
Well, actually,
How much did you sell it for?
actually, we sold it for more than what we paid for.
Shut up.
No,
Brand new. It's not like a car then. It's not like as soon as you get it off
No,
the...
what it does, it
does.
catamarans specifically, more than monohulls, tend to keep their value. So if you, for example, if you bought a catamaran in, say, year 2000 and you bought it for 200,000, it would still be worth 200,000 today. So you're just missing out on the capital appreciation.
However, if you would wanted to buy the same brand today, it would probably do half. It just gone 50%.
Yeah, it'll probably be another 200,000-300,000 now from what we paid.
Really?
So basically, people.
Well, because it's like an antique.
I don't know.
I feel like they don't make that one anymore.
It is a luxury hobby.
It does cost a lot for maintenance-wise as well.
No, I know. My ex wanted a boat.
Yeah.
I was like, one day.
The
I don't want to pay the storage fees.
Yeah,
just to keep it.
Well, we were full time. We were on anchor, so we didn't. The only time
How
we
do
really.
you know if there's a maintenance issue? Unless it just starts sinking.
No.
No. You maintain something. You have
to service stuff.
To go engines needs to be serviced certain miles or
like
years.
A car.
Yeah,
it has to be done, and they're always expensive. And
no.
you need to go. You need to go to the boatyard. You have to pay for marina fees, etc.
All of that.
That's what's adding up. However, apart from that, you're just living from the solar. You're living from
of course,
We had a water maker,
solar energy,
which is like.
So we're living off grid.
Yeah.
What? So you made water from rainwater?
No, from seawater.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So it's like a desalination process.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because that leads on to Dubai quite nicely.
Yeah.
I was told they've only got one desalination plant there.
Right.
So for a long time there was an issue with water.
Yeah.
And then some of the big developers made a deal with the water companies, and their buildings had the best pressure. Mm-hmm. And then and we're talking big buildings. You need pressure, right?
Yeah, they're tall.
Serious pressure.
Yeah.
So but one of the other big developers,
tanks, weren't they?
What?
They'll have elevated tanks.
I've no idea how they actually built them. I've no idea how it works. Yeah, that's it. But I just know there was an issue with water pressure at one point because some of the big developers didn't make the deal because they hadn't thought about it. And then so that was interesting to learn. Obviously, they fixed it now, but.
And solar panels. If you have a good batteries, you could sustain for years without even go to any marinas because you have.
Fishing to catch your dinner and stuff.
We have friends who were growing tomatoes
on the boats.
They had a 3D printer on board, so used to make different things, for plant receptacles.
The plants.
They were growing all sorts of vegetables.
No way!
On the boat,
I'd love that. I really want to do off-grid, but I can't really do that now that I'm in the field.
You can stock.
Kind of need people.
For a year.
It's quite funny because they're good friends of ours, and they actually do sort of podcasts and stuff as well, and got a YouTube channel. She's Russian. She's a rocket scientist.
Is she?
But she was going to work for NASA, but obviously with what's going on at the moment, they wouldn't employ her, sort of thing. So.
Because she's Russian.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And
that's so stupid.
Her partner is from Germany.
He's German, but he's got dreadlocks. He's fair hair, but it's all dreadlocks down to here. And the best thing is because they're growing their own vegetables on the boat, the plants are just overflowing out the boat. They think, the authorities are thinking, it looks like it's doing ganja, growing their own ganja.
Yeah. Do they get searched a lot?
Probably.
Do they still live on the boat?
Yeah, they're in Panama at the moment. Yeah.
She would
Panama.
always say,
That's why I work with monkeys out in Panama.
Really?
Yeah, Panama Canal, is it? I guess.
Yeah.
I was in the jungle in the middle of nowhere, but no, it's one of the few places I've been down there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, stunning.
They're looking for that place to live off grid. Buy a bit of land, maybe in Dominican Republic or Panama.
That would be great. So do you think there was a certain point in your life then when you suddenly knew you were an entrepreneur, as it were?
I don't know. Because I was in the military for 5 years.
Right.
And I was always working for government because I was a firefighter for 30 years in London.
Of course.
I couldn't wait. I've been counting the days so when I could break free. And that's what we did pretty much. Lana was saying, we need to start up our own business, all this sort of thing.
Oh, so you're the entrepreneur then, really?
I think we both are, but we just wanted a bit of freedom for a while. So we decided.
Risk-adverse entrepreneur. And then she was like, wild one, we need you.
Yeah. So I was retiring in September 2016. Lana, quite coincidentally, which was brilliant, she was made redundant by her corporate job. No. And she was on quite a good income and stuff. So we basically went on to my paltry little pension and decided to go travelling. So that was the first thing we thought we needed to get.
We had 2 houses by then, so we rent them out.
Yeah.
When travelling.
Yeah.
And what got you into property the first time then, before you sold them off for a yacht?
My parents were always moving around every 2 years. So when I'd go away in the army and stuff, and I'd come home, they'd be living in a different property. So they were.
You could never find them.
I couldn't find them.
They're trying to escape from it.
So they always did their own. They lived in it, done it up. And then sold it, moved on again every 2 years.
Oh, literally.
Without fail, literally every 2 years.
Okay, I thought they were maybe like moving for work or something, but no, they were doing it deliberately.
That's cool. Yeah, so that's where I really got the bug from. So I've done the same thing ever since. I've always seen a rundown property and then try to improve on it and then move on.
Yeah.
I did one of the biggest ones I did was I bought a 2-bedroom bungalow in Bournemouth. And it was, your bog standard 2-bed bungalow.
Yeah.
But good thing about bungalows, always on a nice sized plot.
They are.
So I basically
got a couple of bungalows.
I extended it and made a 5 double-bedroom chalet style bungalow, which overlooked like a nature reserve.
Nice.
And it went from 85 square meters to 225 square meters in size, and that literally took me years to do. I had a builder did the main build of it, but I did all the other bits and grafting and stuff.
Yeah, I did that with my first. I bought a little 3-bed terrace using my mum's money. It was in my mum's name. It wasn't in a company, nothing. And I lived in it with my daughter when she was 1.5-ish. And oh God, I did everything myself. I was driving lorries at the time. Probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to anyway. I was using the lorry, taking the tackle out. Using the lorry and then picking up like second-hand kitchens, bathrooms, everything.
Brilliant.
But worst of all, I had one of the other lorry drivers meet me, he'd park his lorry up and do the same thing, get in my lorry and help me load it.
Brilliant.
Utilise what you got in it. Because prior to that, I was on the vans. We used to do the same thing.
It's funny. What's this about lorry drivers and property developing? Because I started off in the military as a lorry driver.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got my.
I would love to drive military. You know the big things with the big wheels and that, like even quarry machinery.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a go at that because I'm a confident driver, right? Like that's why I went into lorries because I was like, what else can I do other than animals? Because I didn't know. I had little businesses that funded my animal stuff, but so I've always been an entrepreneur. But I was like, when I had my daughter, I was like, I need money now. I was like, damn. So I was like, what can I do? And then I was like, well, you've driven to Spain about 4 times. I was like, so I'm good at that stuff. So I just. Yeah, that's how I ended up going for the lorries, but I'd love to drive some big machinery.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's big boys' toys or big girls' toys.
Ice chuckers. Yeah. Like, I want to have a go with that.
And we had, I was in a squadron where we had amphibious vehicles as well. So
that's what I'm talking about, that sort of stuff.
Great fun. Pretty much go anywhere. That was great fun.
That would be great. Because honestly, like, so my brothers love cars and that, and they used to go on, what's it called? Not Jap. We used to go to Jack Fest every year, which is in Castle Combe Circuit in the UK. But we used to drift, basically. We used to go drifting track days, stuff like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I was raised on that.
Yeah.
And then, but my brothers, they used to kit out their cars or whatever, and I helped them do it sometimes to do, modball. Modball is a modification. There's another version of that where it's all supercars. And they go around Europe, basically. There's like a big
gumball rally sort of thing.
Yeah, gumball. It's called gumball.
Gumball, yeah.
Yeah, but then they did the modball, which is just modification cars.
Yeah.
So I would help them kit their cars out. I remember ripping seats out of a Toyota or something, but putting bucket seats in and stuff like that, like kitting them out. Yeah. And they used to come back with like speeding tickets from every country across Europe. But I was never old enough to go with them. Yeah. I was in school and stuff. And my brother's older than me, so do you know what I mean? Like.
Petrol heads, really.
Yeah, but I remember the first track day I ever went to with them, because I was old enough, because it was on a track, you can be younger than you need to be.
Yeah.
So I remember, like, I literally said to the guy that was, like, instructing us, as it were, I said to him, just make me better than all them men there. And it was all I wanted.
Yeah.
Because I was the only woman there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had a really good day. Really good at figure of eights and donuts.
Brilliant, yeah.
Banging at those.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I really want to buy, that'll be what I buy as a toy car. So, like, just a little Mazda MX-5. Yeah. They're really cheap to fix.
Yeah.
Really lightweight. They're real wheel. Don't mind messing it up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than a supercar or anything, I'll be going for stupid little cars I can mess up. But yeah, so property journey's been pretty incredible then. Have you bought anything else in the last year other than the bank?
We're just about to exchange on a 4-bed detached.
Nice.
which we're going to turn into a 6-bed HMO, and there's an annex on the side as well, which will turn into like a 1-bed self-contained unit.
Yeah, nice.
The extension, what he's saying, annex is extension and
garage.
A garage, integrated garage.
Right.
It's the same length as the main house.
Nice. Okay, so it's a big annex.
So it is big.
Useful. You could almost service accommodation it on its own. It's got private access.
The properties usually go on the good deals.
Yeah.
Those who've got problems, so this one's got subsidence and the wall kind of a little bit of leaning, which took us probably we spent about 6,000 just to investigate, just have subsidence engineers, we have structural engineers, etc., and everything looks solid.
So, like with regards to the refurb on that, then is that going to be extortionate because you've got to fix the subsidence, or
or
do you have to monitor
it's expensive? There's new technologies now.
Exactly, people are scared of that. And
Tell us.
However,
No, I need to know. What are these technologies?
There's the companies now. They just like inject
They can inject resin,
and it pushes it up.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Yeah,
actually.
I'm going to show you a couple of properties after we've left. I know you've seen one this morning, but when we leave, I'll take you to one of the bungalows. They've done not an annex. They've converted a garage, but they've built a garage secondary, because there's a garage on the left hand side, and on the right hand side it looks garage sized, and it's at the end of a drive. But what they've done is that, like back in the olden days, like there was no foundation regulations, was there? So like they've dug down in this. It's already falling off anyway. Like you can see it coming away. Like the whole thing's away from the wall. The ceiling's coming down. There's a big hole in the floor. So we've pulled the flooring up, and then you can just see the hole. There's barely any foundation, if anything. Right. So we're just going to knock that down, and we're increasing the bungalow by going up. So we've been planning on that.
Yeah, more. However, the new technology is getting with the subsidence. It's just it's not that expensive as we would thought.
Yeah, back in the day it would.
Yeah, it's quite
take it down and put it back up, sort of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of groundwork
underpinning, all of that. That underpinning's the expensive one, isn't it?
Time, and money, and
trenches, and to see what we're dealing with. Yeah. We almost let a good banging deal go because of that. Because when we started looking at subsidence and stuff, it was like we had to dig trenches to see how far down the foundations went. Yeah. Just so we could increase by going up. But yeah, so like, what's been your biggest challenge then, I guess, other than the bank not paying?
Biggest challenge. Frustrating thing, I think, is just waiting for people.
Yeah.
Like surveyors, solicitors. Yeah, but this property we got now, we've had to change our strategy, because initially it was going to be a case of we'd negotiated a good price and the keys undertaking, which meant we could get in there before completion on exchange of contract to do the refurbishment, and then we wouldn't have to buy it first. We could do the refurbishment and then go straight to term mortgage.
Yeah.
So which has saved lots of money on finance.
Right, so I've got a friend who did that, Christopher Cully from the. It's like a delayed completion. You exchange, but you don't complete till the work. Yeah,
it's an amazing strategy.
So but he's having a little bit of an issue now, because by the time they actually completed, stamp duty was viable.
Yeah.
Liable, not viable.
Yeah.
Liable. So he's now fighting that. No. When we exchanged, it was uninhabitable. Therefore, stamp duty is not.
Do they work it out from?
He's still sorting it out,
or from.
So I'll have to let you know on that one. They're trying to say that at the point of completion, which is when he actually bought it,
when you already,
it was done.
Yeah.
So therefore, it was habitable. Therefore, stamp duty is liable.
Yeah, at completion.
So, So now he's trying to fight that. No,
but we wouldn't have minded that, because we would have saved so much
on
not having to get all that massive bridge
up
front. We would have just had a bridge for the development.
So you don't mind.
So you don't mind taking that one on the chin.
Yeah.
Really. But
stamp duty's just gone up though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We
and there's going to be more from 1st of April.
Well, not for me. No. I'm leaving.
we were
taxes. I'm off.
Yeah, good on you.
Best strategy. If you start with the strategy in the UK, best strategy is just like dump this strategy and go.
Well, this is it. Like, look, all the big players are moving. Strategy. There's so many millionaires at the moment leaving for Dubai and other tax havens, not just Dubai.
Yeah.
Dubai's just the hottest one. Yeah. That's why I'm going that one.
It's a bit hot there, though, doesn't it, in the summer?
In the summer, yeah.
You need to disappear somewhere.
Yeah, but this is the other thing. I'm looking to build in Portugal, aren't I? So I might just go to Portugal in the summer.
Yeah.
Dubai through the winter.
Yeah. Well,
flitted between the UK and...
We're only really back in the UK just to grow our wealth, and then we want to live abroad. You know, and
this is the thing.
We're like nomads. We just don't like to sit still.
I don't like to. So people keep saying that to me.
Hence, the yacht was a brilliant thing.
Yeah, I've had that as an issue personally. But my brother was like, no, you never stay still. You don't like settling down, as it were.
Boring.
Yeah, but he's still got you two to do it.
Like
I'm just dragging my poor 5-year-old with me.
Yeah.
Like you said, go to the beach, and it's just like 2 days later.
Oh, yeah. Who gets bored in the Caribbean?
And when you're on a yacht as well, you get annoyed with your neighbour. You just lift the anchor up and off you go somewhere else.
No, even like I travelled Europe in a van when I had a Rottweiler and a Shepherd with me. We built a kennel in the bottom of the van, and then it was like I love all that. I could easily live off grid. It's only because of what we do now. I think Dubai is the best place for me because like the type of people I'll be interviewing, they're going to be big players, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to meet investors that are big players. I'm going to be able to make tax-free income. Tax-free.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
So
You're going to blow up on big scale.
Hopefully, because I've grown so quickly here, I'm hoping if I can just replicate that there.
You've got the blueprint now.
Yes, exactly. And I've got the kudos from investors. I've already paid back loads of investors, so I've actually got the backing now as well.
Yeah.
To say, look, you can invest with us. We've got track record.
It's what, like Samuel says, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like having a superpower, isn't it? Once you've got the knowledge.
Yes, you're off.
It's like unbelievable, isn't it?
Let me loose. Yeah, because I did. Yeah, it has been a mental couple of years though, and I'm guessing you would agree.
Yeah. Well, we're just getting started. You're sort of a year or so ahead of us, aren't you?
I've been on 2 years now. Are you on your second year?
Yeah, I've just started.
I've been on 6 months.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, she started 6 months ago.
Late.
I've just done just over a year.
Yeah, but you've been doing property for a long time, man. You've been doing it longer than me, and you grew up around it. I did not.
The great thing about it is that I've got a good grounding on, so if I'm getting other people to do work for me, subcontractors or whatever, I know when they're taking their mick or when they're doing it wrong.
I've got project managers for that.
there's a few things, I always found that I always did a better job because I was financially involved myself.
Yes.
I'd always want a good standard.
Yeah.
The amount of times I had to, do a bit of work that a plumber messed up or a sparky or whatever. Yeah.
I know. I wouldn't fix that. See, I would get them back, and I wouldn't pay the final payment until they fix it.
Yeah, but would you trust them to fix it again?
We've got because we've got contracts in place. It'll just cost them money, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't maybe if it was to fix a problem later down the line, I probably wouldn't get them back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the first instance, because we assign everything off, right? We go to sites and we sign stuff off before they move on to the next bit.
Yeah.
So in our JCT contracts, which we've learned about the hard way, in there it costs them money if they're over their time frame.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
This is a very good point.
Yeah,
definitely. I think that's a must.
That's been a learning curve.
That's a real must.
Because usually what people do, like normal people do, who are not in Samuel Lloyds Academy, they just employ the builder or plumber. They just done it. They just trust because you're a specialist, and they just gone. And then something goes wrong. People just keep quiet and not come back there because they don't want to upset people.
Yeah.
But learning the
you hear a lot of horror stories, don't you? Where builders just don't turn up, and they've had a chunk of deposit.
So
and stuff.
just everything has to be done.
I've been robbed. I was attempted robbery. I paid just before I went to Uganda with the Samuel Lloyds Foundation. I paid the roofer the deposit to get going. He said the roof would be done by the time I got back, and I would finish the rest of the payment when I got back, the other half. Well, it wasn't half. It was under half. It was for materials and get the boys and the scaffolding and everything else.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a fair figure for the deposit. It was about 8,400, I think. Which is still a big chunk.
Mm.
Right.
And obviously it's not my money, is it? It's investors' money. So I went away and I got... this is a good lesson, actually. So I came back. Obviously, I didn't know that... I was texting him through the week saying, how's it going? Send me update for pictures, and I wasn't getting anything. But I assumed it was because my internet was intermittent because I was in Uganda, right?
Yeah, red flag.
Yeah, should have been. But I was enjoying Uganda. I was having such a good time in Uganda. I was on cloud nine.
Yeah.
Well, I did, I did, but I didn't know him prior. But we did get on. Everything seemed legit.
Was
Do you know what I mean?
Your brother's a builder, isn't he?
No, he's just the project manager. So he's been trained by...
Was he not keeping an eye on it for you?
No, because it was the one element that I'd booked on my own. Oh, because I met the guy. Not that he wasn't keeping an eye on it. I said to him, I'm not having any communication. Could you pop down and have a look? He said, there's no scaffold. He said, scaffolding's up on the rear elevation. So the scaffolding to the rear elevation was done before I left Uganda. So it looked like they had started doing the work.
Yeah.
Right, but all he'd done was basically he'd got a scaffolder from super far away, Newport, which is about 40 minutes away. You wouldn't do that. You'd get someone local, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't even do that. But I didn't know the scaffolder was coming that far. And he made it out like it was his mate, the scaffolder, which is why he was using him, because he could get it cheaper. Scaffolder didn't have a clue who he was. Never knew him before. And I didn't find that out until after. So anyway, I get back to the UK and we've got the Jordan Belfort event. So I went to a hotel. I didn't come back to Wales. I went to a hotel in London. And then I found out, like, nothing's been done, nothing's happening. He's blocked me on everything and everything. And I cried for about 3 minutes, right, when I was feeling sorry for myself. I was jet lagged as well, to be fair. And then I just stood up and I was like, nobody's winning from me crying. I've just got to fix it. And that is the mindset, right? You've just got to, like, you can't just sit there crying. It's not gonna, yeah.
Shit happens occasionally.
Shit happens. Like, so I just stood up, started an investigation with the bank, yada, 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 got onto small claims. My dad's a retired policeman, so I was like, Dad, write me this is what happened, put it into police talk, please. And we'll go, like, we'll put it. So Dad had written that thing. But basically went through this whole process. The bank didn't look like they were going to give it back to me, even though it was Monzo business to Monzo business. So I thought, just claw it back. Let's get it back for me. Do you know what I mean? I thought it'd be easy. But they weren't making it easy, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be either. And eventually, just before I submitted, so my dad did all this work for this small claims court thing. I was just about to submit it because everything was finished. And then the bank said, we're going to give it you back.
The bank give you it back?
The bank gave it me back.
Wow.
Okay.
So, yeah. But then we met some builders. I know, right. It was a bit like a winning story or whatever. But lucky we got it back because I was upset because I'd lost investors' money, right? It was not my money to be messing with.
Well,
especially when you're starting off, isn't it? When you're starting off, you're like scratching around for money.
Well, yeah, but so the bungalow, one of the bungalows I'm going to take you to that's finished, Samuel's been there, the one, you know, with the big field at the back and all that. I had the individual contractors do that, and I managed that myself. My brother wasn't even working with me at that point. Or he was, but only just. So it wasn't like, so I was managing that. It was my first project. I was excited to do it, everything. So I did all of that. And I was on site pretty much every day. I was giving out like breakfast baps and coffees. And I was knocking walls down myself. And I was just like constantly on site. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my brother was like, we can't do that if we're going to do multiple projects. And I was like, yeah, but that went really well in my eyes. Because that was a big, big bungalow. And it took 4 months. And that was only because of a delay. It should have taken 3. It was only because of a delay, because of a plasterer being a plasterer, not turning up and just giving it all a big and we'll be there tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Never there, like during. But because I was on site all the time, I knew he wasn't there, so I was able to chase him and keep him accountable. Do you know what I mean? If you're not on site every day, or at least popping in, I think that's not every day, because the builders don't want you looking over their shoulder. Like, no. But I was heavily involved with that one, so I was actually doing stuff. I wasn't just looking over their shoulders. But I had loads of fun doing that, and I actually miss being on site because I get on with builders and stuff. Like, we all have a bit back.
And you can see it progressing as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was one point where the bad plasterer, he was like they were taking the ceiling. All the ceilings came down, right? Because bungalows. So the shit from there was no insulation, not one fibre of insulation in that bungalow. It was massive. And they brought all the ceilings down, but 100 years of shit came out. So I walked in there one day and I was like, oh shit. And they took them all down at the same time. So you're climbing over disgusting bull. I was like, oh God. I was like, this looks horrifically bad. And the electricians were like, we don't want to work around them again. Like,
no.
Like this has been a nightmare. They just smashed them all down. And it's
left
just
the shit everywhere.
Yeah. And then I said, boys, you need to come back. You need to clear this up. Like, you can't leave it like that. No one else can work in here.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So that should have been, they should have done it room by room. Cleared it, room.
Yeah.
Do you mean? We had skips there and stuff. So
you can tell a good tradesman by
the way they leave it. Yeah, exactly.
You can.
But yeah, my house in the end was amazing. My house, the bungalow. It was the one I did.
Can you name a shame that's
plasterer?
No, a builder who robbed you.
Oh, can I?
Because it's just...
I can't. I remember his surname because he kept telling me it like he was like a big gangster in Cardiff.
Maybe that wasn't his surname.
Maybe not.
I don't know, do you?
Maybe not. I can remember his surname. I can't remember his...
So what sort of due diligence do you do then on builders and stuff?
Well, so it's not my job anymore because apparently I can't do it.
do
Or do it badly.
Yeah, exactly. So like a lot of our projects are so big now that we use single tender contractors anyway. So they bring in all the boys. Yeah. So that's easier. You can look at their books. As long as we use a limited company, you can look at their previous books. You can check they've got enough money to like account for themselves. Do you know what I mean? and they've got reviews and they've got references, Trustpilot, all that stuff, right? That's the main way
so
now.
you use Trustpilot, and do you...
I didn't with that guy, but yeah.
But now, from now on, yeah.
Do you do check a trade?
Check a trade would help, anything like that. But it's not my job anymore.
Yeah, I always use check a trade usually.
Yeah.
I've always had
It's a very good tips for people who try to choose.
And I love good marketing, but checkatrade.com. If you remember something like that, do you know what I mean? I think that's banging marketing right there.
Amazing.
There's an insurance company I'll never forget as well, Hastings. 1066. I'll never forget their telephone number.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but once it's in your head, it's there. Then.
I know we had the other one was Admiral, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Admiral was another one. We used that for our boat actually.
And meerkat.com.
Meerkat, yeah. Meerkat.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you associate with something, it's just easier to.
Yeah.
So, if you're using a builder, do you supply the materials? Do you get the materials in, or just leave it for the builder?
Not anymore. I used to.
That's his markup. It's just too much hassle.
There is a markup on it always. There's a markup on everything though.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so as long as the price comes in the budget, I say I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
So the figures have got to add up.
Because I know the numbers for the most part. I know how to price a refurb based on single contractors, right?
Yeah.
So I go off of that, and I add 10% maybe for the markup. It's more like 20 now, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
but if I can't
30%, wasn't it recently?
Well, if we can't find someone in our budget, we'll just keep looking.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, we'll go single contractors.
Yeah.
And we'll manage it.
Yeah.
But as I say, with the pub conversion, so it took us a year and 2 months to get that through planning.
Yeah.
Now we've got then we had an S106 contribution to and it was only $3,000. We were like, yeah, no problem. Then they were like, so I emailed the planning guy that I'd been dealing with. Oh, where do you want me to send this $3,000? And they said, oh no, the solicitor's got to deal with it. And I was like,
no.
So that's a whole new process.
Slow it right
so now
up,
I've got to pay their solicitors and mine.
Yeah.
So that cost me an extra $2,000. So instead of $3,000, it was $5,000 in the end. Plus it takes more time because the solicitors have got to do their back and forth rubbish. Yeah. So that took its time. Then that was finally done. Then Phil, the architect, he was like, we've got to discharge these conditions. And I was like, oh God, that can take 6 to 8 weeks. I was like, such a process, man. You've given us the planning, but we've still got loads of work to do before we can actually do anything.
What was your relationship like with your investor then? Were they
they're all paid back.
But what I'm saying is, were they getting a bit stressed because it was taking longer than what anticipated?
No, because I keep communication open with them.
You kept communication.
Yeah. But to be fair, actually, they probably kept communication open with me better because I was like buying left, right, and centre. I was like buying the property a month basically at one point. So I was busy. Like I wasn't thinking about it. It was in planning. There was not much else I could do. I was emailing in the planning guy once a week just to check in. Is there anything else I can provide you to speed this up? Do you know what I mean? So my investors would probably text me once a month and just say, how's the project going? And I'd be like, oh, look, we're still in planning. Don't worry, we've got funds aside if we need to pay you back, sort of thing. And we did. We got to the end of the 12 months and I had to pay him back out the money I made from the bungalow, the one that I managed.
Sorry, I'm questioning you.
No, it's
fine. Another one as well, interesting one that's a little tip probably is keep on the when you're doing planning, but when you put your stuff through to land registry to get everything updated in your name and stuff, obviously you've got to go to a mortgage or whatever later down the line because you're on a bridge.
Yeah.
So you really need. I think you can ask for expedited service, can't you?
You expedite
at land registry. Expedite it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my solicitor does now without like straight off the bat of the bridge.
Yeah.
Because then it gives them 12 months ideally, and that's with the expedition.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? As long as you do it straight away, as soon as you've brought on the bridge, it should be in your name then, right?
Yeah.
But land registry last year was horrifically bad, and this year they've upped their game a little bit apparently.
I think the bank took us about 6 months, wasn't it? 6, 8 months.
Yeah.
That's before we knew about this expedited process. But luckily, we weren't trying to get mortgage or anything like that at the time. So we bought it with cash from the boat.
So would you guys invest in Dubai?
I'm seriously thinking about it.
Do you want me to? I'll give you all the once I've learned, because I got to do my own learning now when I get over there.
Yeah,
I'm going to be shadowing a guy for 6 months who's already doing it, who's been there for a couple of years.
So give it another 6 months to a year, then we'll shadow you.
Yeah. No, I don't mind feeding you the information because I'm hoping...
You're a trailblazer, so we're in your wake.
I'm hoping everyone that knows me that's even not interested... Well, obviously, you've got a few Academy members that are... But people who don't... Like, people know different people, right?
Of course.
So, like, if you're gonna invest out there, like, hit me up.
Definitely, yeah.
Because I'll be happy to share.
You'll be like pioneer. Just go in and
that's what I said, trailblazer. Yeah.
Well, so Asim, is from the Academy. He was like sort of the lead on our trip out there.
Is that the guy you met when they were showing you around?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So Asim works with SBA Properties, right? SBA Properties have been out there for a number of years or whatever, and they're killing it out there. So it's really good experience to go on their retreat if they do, like when they're doing another one now in April. If you wanted to go, hit them up. But then again, I'm guessing they're going to do more going forward. So yeah, if anyone's interested in Dubai, hit up Asim Ramsey and SBA Properties.
Good business.
Yeah. They
so they sort of hold your hand while you go out there and try and...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, but the difference with me is obviously I'm like, I'm going to move here. And like they took me there once and I'm like, oh, deal done, I'm out. Bye UK. No, because all of our properties that are here, right, are going to be our cash flow. So the reason I'm leaving when I'm leaving is because we're wrapping up all our projects, right? We're still going to do one big commercial to Resi a year, but again, I can deal with all the planning, I can deal with all the fundraising, the financing from a distance.
Your team.
Exactly, I've got such a banging team here. My broker, my broker, my solicitor, they work hand in hand together.
Your architect.
My architect is a blinder, and now I've got my main contractor here in Wales that saw me on Instagram and stuff. So actually, he's suggested that he'll give us reduced rates the more we do with him.
Cool.
Right, and they do everything. They do everything from planning consultancy. They do everything, but obviously I want to keep Phil. So I'm going to stick with my architect because loyalty is a big thing for me. Yeah. So I'll have Phil do the planning. Yeah, but the guy from the contracting firm that does the planning consultancy can consult Phil and do that side of it. And then they can take over the CDM, the main contractor role and everything and get it done within a set time. And we're
all hands off.
Cushy.
Absolutely.
Way
That's what it's about, isn't it?
My brother will still be here to check on site.
Yeah. You
Keep
just
an eye on
enjoy
progress.
what you made.
Well, yeah, I'll be enjoying it out there, but I'll be working like a dog out there, learning everything over again. But my brother's job will get much easier, won't it?
Over here. Enjoying the sunshine, the rain.
When we met the contractor and he said all these things and we were like, I said, well, your job just got easier to do, Alex, to my brother. Like, so, yeah, it's going to be really good. I think, but it's going to make my job easier as well because I won't have to deal with planning. It'll all be done in-house. I won't even have to deal with that. So all I've really got to do is relearn everything out there. I'm guessing it's much of a muchness, but apparently trades are cheaper out there. It's cheaper to get builders out there. So once I shadow this guy and just learn the hot spots essentially, then I'll just get straight into it.
There's so many opportunities.
Yeah. We're still offering 25% fixed return for people out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So
that's a massive.
Well, it's massive numbers. So I told you the last one, the guy I'm shadowing.
As well to worry about.
And tax.
Exactly. So the profits are
no VAT.
Huge. Yeah, and we're going to be focusing on townhouses and villas, not apartments. So a lot of people are doing off-plan and stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is a good investment. But it's not for me. Everyone knows me for renovations. Why would you invest in me for an off-plan, right?
Exactly.
So I'm just going to do the townhouses and the villas, and I'll just run you through the numbers that I did earlier. So the guy that I'll be shadowing, the last one he did, they bought it for 11 million dirham. They refurbed it for 2 million dirham, sold it for 26 million dirham.
So what's the dirham to the pound at the moment?
Divided by 4 on average. It's about 4.4.
Yeah.
But for a rough estimate, divided by 4.
Thailand's about that rate as well.
Yeah. So it's still millions.
Yeah.
It's still millions.
Still big
in
numbers.
GBP. Yeah, exactly. So I can get everyone's money back and still make a little bit of a cut myself. Tax free.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing strategy. Brilliant. And so admire you for having courage to do that, because it's not everybody would go in, because it is unknown. It's the same thing that we bought the boat, decided that, and just going through the ocean in unknown. Like my relatives were saying, like my daughter and my mum were saying, it's so dangerous. What are you doing?
Well, so my mum's petrified.
It is.
Yeah, my mum's petrified. She's coming out with us in April because she wants to make sure that it is as safe as I keep saying, and it is. All of these things. So,
but once you've done once, it wouldn't look as scary.
No, absolutely, and that's the thing. I think that's the only reason I make decisions like this is because I don't get scared. I don't get anxious.
It's amazing.
Like I am the only thing that will stop it happening. or make it happen.
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset. So I'm not even scared. I'm just not scared.
It's belief as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I know I can do it here. Why can't I do this? There's no
just
difference.
believing in yourself, isn't it?
And not listening to the mainstream media because it's just always scaring you. Or this could go wrong. This could go wrong.
Most people were just
they keep saying the Dubai bubble's gonna pop and all that crap. It's like, no, it's not. There's 200 million people going there every year or whatever.
And it's getting more and more.
And they're developing everywhere, right? They're developing everywhere, and the demand is still outnumbering the amount of developments they're doing. I'm not scared, and I don't think it's going to pop because Dubai, all of those areas, all the UAE countries that I know of, Abu Dhabi and all that, they're all focusing. They're building that on a map. Don't question me on this, but to the left of Dubai and that, they're building that really long eco city thing that's like self-run, aren't they? Which is like in a wall, in two walls.
Yeah,
it's going to be everything they're doing is first of its kind. Yeah.
Is it the palm?
They're making a second palm.
Yeah.
Have you seen the second palm?
I haven't seen that, no.
Palm Jebel Ali.
Just out of
I hope I've said that right.
So it's not even on the land, is it? It's built into the sea.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like pretty much free space, isn't it?
And do you know Martin from the Bristol Inner Circle?
Martin. The big guy from
the older guy.
Yeah.
He used to live in Dubai for like 15 years, and he was working on the infrastructure of the original Palm Jumeirah.
Really?
Yeah.
So why doesn't he get out there and start doing?
He's not as positive as I am about it.
Well, you do need to just experience.
Yeah,
even like 9-10 years out of your life, you just enjoy that, and then you decided to just go and do
something else will turn up, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I just think that exactly. I probably, I if I love it, I'll stay there forever. But I'll probably get bored at some point.
Yeah.
But I just think the networking out there is going to be next level. Do you know what I mean?
Amazing, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
It's just a whole different realm, innit? And I was talking previously to a couple of the boys from Uganda, actually, Asim, one of them, and Christopher Cully. I said to him, I think we should join a private club, like a private club in London, and I'll come down once a month or whatever, and we should go network in the right rooms. We're not, I need a bigger room now. I need some bigger people. I need a bigger room.
Expanding.
Yeah.
You're like a big fish in a little pond.
No, I don't even feel like I'm in that pond much anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing I'm guest speaking and stuff, and that's me giving back, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I do meet investors there as well. I still meet investors. It's still a win-win overall.
Yeah.
But my term does come to an end with Samuel's Academy in May.
All right.
And I'm like.
Yeah.
Like my thought was like, you're never going to get rid of me. Like I always thought I'd just stick around. Like, do you know what I mean? And I still think I might, but it's just I'm not going to be a.
You may come back.
Like how am I going to?
Speaker.
Well, I won't be able to. Oh, one of the dinners. That would be great. Oh, that would be cool. Actually, I could be on the stage.
Samuel will pay you.
Yeah. No, will he pay?
He'll be paying you.
Teacher teaching the taught or whatever it is. No, that would be good.
It will be my creation.
No, I have spoke to him about Dubai, actually, because I know Russell's super interested in Dubai. Russell Leeds.
Is he?
Yeah, so I had a chat with him at the...
Well, they started a High Flyers Club.
I was at the High Flyers, that's where I was talking to him. I was at the High Flyers Club. The next one's in April, actually. So I was talking to him about it there, and he was just saying how they've... I forgot when I spoke to Samuel about it that Russell had told me they'd been there. But I didn't know they'd been there because I thought they would have invested by now.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% certain that they haven't. But...
there might be
I'll talk to Russell again in the next one. But I find it super interesting because I've said to Samuel, I was like, look, once I'm there and I know more and everything's cushy, I was like, surely if you're going to invest...
Yeah.
Just you, not he doesn't necessarily have to give me money, but I could do viewings for him. I can if you know and trust someone, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it'd be way easier to make decisions.
Seems to me that the smart money's going like Dubai at the moment.
Yeah.
The UK is just getting
loads of millionaires
tougher.
have left.
Yeah.
The way how this government is pushing, it's destroying.
That's another issue. Yeah.
I've always wanted out though. Yeah. I've always been of the mindset that I want residency in as many countries as I can get it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So Portugal's one. I won.
During COVID, we were locked down in Lanzarote.
Oh no!
On the boat.
Terrible.
But before lockdown. We actually were volunteering at a local cat charity to feed the feral cats.
Right.
So we actually managed to get a pass to be out and about whilst everybody else was locked down. So it was just us and the
from
military and the
government,
police.
allowing to
We had a
feed,
special pass from the government.
Just so you can feed the cats.
feed the cats,
Because
cats.
they will all die because there's no natural water. There's,
What, in wetlands, right? There's no natural water.
Well,
there.
what I'm saying is that
natural
lots of the
water.
animals,
volcanic
because it doesn't rain very
base.
often.
Oh,
They
right.
don't have rains. They just it's
Why don't
only
they do
like,
what Dubai does and make their own rain?
But so we were going out on, we had a couple of fold-up bikes, electric bikes that we had on the boat, and we were just like, we'd had a backpack full of cat food and
and water.
couple of big bottles of water and
Did you
stuff.
get residency there then?
No, we could have done.
You should have.
I know.
Just get it every time you're anywhere honestly, because I wanted residency in. I should have done it, but I was poor at the time and I didn't have the money to do it. Spain. I used to live in Spain, right? And I knew Brexit was coming, so I knew now was the time. And my
So
auntie,
you got residency?
I didn't get it. I couldn't afford it because I didn't. I was
but
poor.
surely
I was poor as shit.
You've got to live there for 6 months of the year, though, haven't you?
Yeah, but I was.
Yeah,
I was living there for like 7-8 months a year.
We were so tempted, but because we're on the boat,
It's so annoying because I should have done it because it's nigh on impossible. It's just so difficult now.
Exactly.
But I know I can get it in Portugal because I've got a connection out there.
Yeah.
I know I can get Dubai now because I'm doing it.
that's
So-
one of our
so
that's
to
one of our
have a
goals.
few-
Our main
a few
goals
more
is to get another
passports, yeah.
a second citizenship or something. You can buy them.
I would go for more than
investment.
two.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I wouldn't
Exactly.
mind getting it in because realistically, what we really got to do is start a company somewhere and live there for a bit, right?
Yeah.
You can divide your
Well,
time
you
up
can
over the
buy-
year, do
buy
a quarter
investment.
here, a quarter there.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that in some of the Caribbean islands you can pay like $200,000,
I wouldn't mind that.
and you can buy your citizenship
And without saying too much,
literally straight away.
Hawaii seems to be a place that probably should be invested in.
Yeah,
Seems
there's
like a bit of a
Americans there, though, isn't there?
seems like a bit of a safe haven though.
Really?
I think it's going that way.
Yeah, so that's out in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
I think
isn't
it's going that way, mate. I mean,
Yeah.
it's burnt half of it down, didn't they? So.
Change your mindset, believe in that, and it will happen.
Oh, well, actually, speaking of Hawaii, what's his face? Facebook owner Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
He's building like an underground. He's building a mansion
Really?
with a 3-story or 2-story underground
Really?
bunker.
Bunker.
Lots of people building bunkers at the moment, mate.
Preparing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you know the I'll take you to the bungalow in a minute, right? But everyone keeps saying, why am I not building on that land? Number one, I don't think they would. I don't think it'd be allowed. But two, I want a bunker in that garden. It's a field.
Yeah, but you're not going to be here.
My family will be though.
Yeah, yeah, true. Just go to the bunker.
Yeah.
Here's the code.
I've told a few key people.
Get loads of provisions in
Come to
there.
my house. Like just fill it with
yeah,
provisions.
yeah.
Get a water filtration system built
Yeah.
now.
But this
Now's the
COVID
time.
was a big wake up call, wasn't it? That how the
what
government
was? The COVID
COVID,
thing?
yeah.
COVID?
COVID, yeah.
What's COVID?
Well, not let's say it.
I know
Oh, you can't say it. We'll have to bleep out COVID.
we've been told that it's going to be your new reality, your new norm, and
Yeah.
it's gone like this.
Well, is
That's
it World Health Economic Forum or whatever?
Yeah,
on
yeah.
their fucking website,
Yeah.
it literally says there's another one coming 2025.
Well, yeah.
So bye bye.
Yeah, they want one coming,
out.
don't they? Because they can control
Well,
us.
they were saying that
Well,
it
it went so well the first time.
Well, we found that on being on the boat, you tend to be away from all that madness.
Yeah, you can't even hear it. Do you,
You can
even
go
hear
anywhere
it
you
though?
like. Sorry?
Are you completely off grid where you're not even seeing the news and stuff, or did you know?
we could do if we wanted to. You've got a SIM card and you're communicating with, but
Starlink,
wasting all
Starlink.
this money on the searching from internet of all reading all this shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Starlink's like revolution.
Just
We
the
got
news.
boarded in Cartagena by Spanish customs, and they were so
And we
apologetic.
thought, oh my god,
We
we,
thought,
don't
oh,
have
shit.
stamps. We
You know, they're going to look at our passports and go, what you're doing here? You know, you're here illegally. All this sort of- No, they didn't want to know. They just wanted to know that we didn't have firearms.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't have like illegal immigrants.
Anything,
or smoking.
yeah.
They
just didn't.
They
care.
didn't even look at the boat. They just sat
Sat
down.
down,
We
have a
just
cup
gave
of
them a
tea.
cup of tea,
Yeah.
and then just like chat. And
Enjoyed having you there.
I tell you,
and they're all volunteers. It's not like police come and check. So it could be anybody. They just came very Mickey and
Yeah.
and
They were in
just
civilians,
said,
like, shorts and
like,
flip-flops,
is
flashing
okay
the badge.
for us to ask you questions? I said, come in. Oh, please, thank you. And they just didn't check anything. That's how
Yeah.
immigration checking the boats.
Yeah.
So it is a massive loophole. You could just bring anything possible. Nobody will check.
well, that's our experience anyway. I'm not saying that you could get some.
Yeah.
That was my experience as well.
you
Not on
could
the
get some
boats,
bad
but
experience.
across the
That,
borders.
but I know there's lots of Americans who travel. They all say, I have my gangs there and all arms.
Yeah, they just got to declare it when
Yeah,
they go in.
but They actually they're asking on forum, shall I declare or not? In the EU, people say, I never declare, nobody checked. So just imagine.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So
it's funny, Walt.
Yeah. So can you tell us, guys, what your plan is now for 2025?
Plan is
the rest of.
Oh well, now we've done the ACPP.
Yep.
It's like a key to a lock, isn't it? It opens up
ideas.
More. Yeah, and mixing in the right circles and stuff. It's a case you're kept a little bit narrow-minded with everybody, you know, how to do certain things, all these regulations and stuff. I think the plan for us now is to really just scale up.
Yeah.
You know, and just grow exponentially. Get some investment. You know, we need to get some investors on board where we can run several projects going at the same time, rather than just doing the old-fashioned method. Which using your own money. Yeah. We've pretty much used our own money now up till now, but you know, we're looking for investors and doing the same thing, but you know, blowing up exponentially.
Yeah. I think the idea was just to get education.
Yeah.
To build up network, and now we feel like we just.
Yeah, I think the mindset's changed a little bit as well.
Yeah.
You know, because that belief, isn't
a little
it?
bit, I think massively.
Oh, the network down in the academy, like any event you go to, you can't come away from there not thinking you're going to succeed. No. It's just not possible. And if you do, you're not meant for the academy.
Exactly.
Because
it's charging you up so much. It's just amazing.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? But there we are. Well, let's wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up just so that we can go and see some more properties.
Yeah.
I want to show you some more.
We could be here all day talking rubbish.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to drop in? Any nuggets for 2025?
I think the main thing is don't believe the media most of the time. They're just trying to scare you because governments are up to their own dodgy dealings. They
got their own things going down. Yeah.
There's always a motive, and if you follow the money, you know, there's so many people out there that are just dumbed down because they believe what the government and the media tell them. It's all rubbish and it's lies.
And what is happening today could be changed tomorrow. Look what's happening in the US. They thought that's policies will stay one way, but Trump came and changing everything. You don't know what will happen.
Well done, Trump.
Yeah.
Go on, Trump.
Yeah, brave.
We support you in the UK.
But lots of people don't, do they? They just see.
And I think Musk is amazing.
Yeah. I think it's so hilarious that they've teamed up because I don't really know where that came from, but.
The truth
that is two money powerhouses there.
We need some double of Trump in the UK, please.
But in fact, it's quite amusing to see that the media and all the the previous Democrats are trying to vilify Trump. They're saying so many.
They tried to kill him a couple of times, but
they're trying to kill him
a couple of times.
What a brave man! Unbelievable.
Yeah, but he must have known. Trump would have known it was coming.
He's got some.
Trump would have known,
Yeah.
For sure. Not that he knew the day and all of that stuff, but he would have known that he was getting under their skin when they started trying to put him through all the legals and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I love that.
They were trying to...
They were trying to get rid of him. Simple as that.
Basically, erase him.
Yeah,
you know why?
Yeah, well, obviously. But my concern was that once... Trump's only got 4 years left, right? So, then what?
And then it will be somebody else.
It'll be some other knobhead, or hopefully Trump will
build a legacy.
A legacy. That's what I'm hoping for. Somebody to follow.
He's growing his own team, which will pick it up.
I think people start. The truth's coming out. People start understanding and seeing what how
and the lifestyle
pro-war the previous government was. They got CIA infiltrated the world pretty much, and they cause all these wars everywhere.
Ripple effects.
Yeah.
Proxy wars.
And that's yeah. And
all these proxy wars.
It's all in the name of lining the pockets of the billionaires. Sorry.
No, but this is good. No, I would love.
Things could change. Don't be scared. What is with the stamp duties? Maybe in a year time, somebody will step in and change it back. So because it's like the time robbery of this stamp duty. It can't.
It's not just that. Section 24 as well. It's just robbery, isn't it?
Section 20. Oh yeah.
No other business. But you can't offset your costs. It's just like criminal, really. I'm surprised it hasn't gone to high court and stuff.
Yeah, but to be fair, look, if we go back in the history of taxes, there was no taxes at one point. Shit was just paid for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So wealth has been built off of poor people forever.
Yeah.
Like the governmental wealth
Well, Julian
Worldwide
Assange was basically, he was, treated as a prisoner. He was a prisoner.
He is still, isn't he?
Because he told the truth. He said
that
all the governments do is embezzle taxpayers' money and feed wars, so they earn more money out of creating wars and embezzle money from taxpayers.
And then they embezzle money on the weapons they use in the wars.
Exactly. They're just taking out of the poor.
And that's what's another benefit of Samuel Leeds Academy, because it's just changing mindset and you start to see things. And as Samuel said, once you see, you can't unsee.
Yeah. That's very true. Yeah, like the Dubai thing. Like I hope that if I get big in my time, when I get big over in Dubai, right? It's a case of when, isn't it?
It's
I would love to get Trump and Musk on the podcast. But can you imagine?
Yeah.
Talk to them from a UK's perspective, do you know what I mean? And just show them the support, because I think they'd be interesting characters just to hang around with for half hour as well.
Yeah.
Do you know
and
what
they're
I mean?
going to have some influence over
Take them
UK
for a drink
politics.
after and just pick their brains, man.
They're going to have some influence over UK politics.
Some
big influence.
And hopefully.
We need to break this.
But we've still got
we've
got corrupt ones in ours. So if they can negate America, they will in UK anyway.
Yeah.
But they will have to bend a knee on occasion, I'm sure. They always do, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
So right, okay. Well, on that lovely note,
interesting times ahead.
Interesting,
Yes.
and we'll do this again. Come to Dubai.
Absolutely.
Do this again in like a year, and we'll see what unfolded.
Yeah.
And you can fill me in.
Very interesting.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
Because I'm super keen. Half the reason I want to go to Dubai is not just because of taxes and all that stuff. That's all great, but don't get me wrong. But I want my daughter out of here, predominantly.
Yeah.
I don't want her growing up here.
Exactly.
That's another good thing about sailing, because you've got Starlink. Everybody does homeschools their children.
Yeah, I'll be
and
homeschooling.
the children grow up to be more rounded people because they get to see different cultures.
Yeah.
They become very.
Yeah.
So the kids are just surrounded by nature. They're in the sea, swimming. They're driving their dinghy around.
Yeah.
It's a family building project, which you can't find in the UK because parents
homeschool your children.
We will be.
Slavery, and they don't see the children. Children being brought up and educated
to hate their parents
by the society, not by parents.
So I'm going to tell you this now, just because we got onto that subject a little bit.
Yeah.
So I stopped my daughter eating McDonald's. We didn't have it much anyway because it was always like a treat.
Yeah.
Whereas most people eat it like once a week or whatever, right? Yeah. So
poison your child with a treat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I've eaten McDonald's all my life. Do you know what I mean? And I was big, as you know.
Yeah.
So
you look amazing, by the way.
Thank you. But I told her no, and she loved them. And I was like, look, I said, Willow, I got to talk to you. We can't have McDonald's anymore. She went, why, mummy? And I was like, there's a chemical they use on the chips. This is just the chips, let alone anything else. On the chips that's got aluminium in it. Same as your nasal flu thing that I won't let you have at school and all these other stuff. And she went, I said, do you want metal chips? And she was like, no. And for the Americans out there, fries. Chips are fries. The fries in the UK are like poisoned, basically. Mm-hmm. And they're the best bit. If you ask me, I love the fries. So do you know what I mean? So, yeah, and the farmers and that, they won't go out in their own fields for 5 weeks after they've sprayed the crap that they're spraying on those potatoes for those particular chips. Or fries. So yeah, I just stopped her eating it, and she took it like a champ. And then she told another parent, which I wouldn't have done that. I don't care what their kids are doing, because they're not going to listen regardless. People don't want to know, right?
No, exactly.
So I don't put it on people.
Yeah.
She told another parent, and they said why, and then they will, and yeah. Basically, she turned around. The parent turned around and went, "Oh, like hosh tosh or whatever."
Hosh tosh.
Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Trying to say somebody quite upper class, snooty sort of. Yeah.
They basically said, "Oh, I don't believe any of that, whatever." And Willow turned around and went, "I believe my mummy," and I was like, "High five!"
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. It is because I'm going to use an example here. I probably shouldn't, but my ex. He because he's survived and alive, and he's been eating crap all his life and drinking all do you know what I mean? If they're older and they've been doing all that crap all their life and they think, well, I'm still alive, that's enough for them to think that it's fine for their kids. Why would it be any different now? And there's no growth. There's no even opening your mind to the shit that they're doing.
And it's getting worse and worse.
So much worse.
Maybe it was less at the beginning of their life.
Yeah, probably.
JFK.
Oh, absolutely. Back then, it would have been way less.
Now,
but
JFK's in now. He's going to change all that, isn't he, in America and stuff? You know,
JFK.
He's
JFK.
JFK
Health
Junior.
Secretary.
He's a health secretary in
Oh,
America.
okay.
US,
Yeah.
I only know the top 2 guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's going to change it big time.
I've been watching though, so I don't normally watch this shit, but I've been, you know, those live broadcasts of like American, you know, when they're all like shouting at each other for no reason.
Yeah.
And they're all like, it's like Congress for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, is it
Congress?
Is it called Congress here?
No.
Parliament.
Parliament.
Congress out there, but no, where they do those things where there's someone, just chairman, sat in the middle, and then they just go back and forth, and they all just saying the same shit over and over again, but nobody's actually negating a point that's been made on the other side. They're just saying the same points over and over again in different ways.
Just different ways. Yeah.
But I've been watching it just because I'm a bit more interested now that Trump's in. Like I actually care now.
Yeah.
Before it was all doom and gloom.
Do you like Caroline, who's spokeswoman for?
Oh, the blonde.
Amazing.
She's brilliant.
I'm just so stunned.
Didn't know her name, but yeah, she's brilliant.
She's like such an inspiration. Like amazing mind and the way how she put people
in their place.
On their place.
Yeah.
Trump's a businessman. He's a clever guy, and he surrounds himself by clever people.
You got to surround yourself with good teams in business, right? We all know that.
Yeah.
So, like, the only reason I'm able to move to Dubai is because my power team at this point is
amazing. But you put
and if I can
lots
expand
of work into
finding them.
and
yeah, for sure.
put them,
But now we've got a main contractor and stuff like that. Like, it just opens the doors up for me to be able to bugger off. Now I'm going to spend 4 hours on my business a day.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now I'm there, like, do you know what I mean?
Hard work is pays.
Yeah.
That's what's all about.
But it's key. So, like, we might grow so big here. Well, even when I'm gone with the continuing, I might have to get an operations manager here.
Yeah.
But I'll need someone I know, trust, and that's going to be a big decision on who does that because they can embezzle.
Yeah, of course.
Realistically.
Yeah.
Well, possibly. They don't have to have access to the bank, do they?
Exactly, yeah. Who's paying?
But he could put stuff through as expensive. I wouldn't, like, unless I'm keeping on top of it, I wouldn't know. Actually.
As long as you're getting
So it's gotta be-
a bit of profit.
You do need to have
Everybody
a
wins.
certain level of
And I'm starting to
control.
learn about kickbacks.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone in Dubai gets a kickback. They recommend a bill to you, they get a 2% fee for the recommendation, right?
Yeah.
But that stuff's starting to happen to me in the UK, which I never... So now I'm starting to get...
With agents and stuff.
Just like if I recommend people to people and... Like, which I was doing anyway. I was already doing it.
Yeah.
And then because so many people were going there, they were like, look, you can just fill in this form, we'll give you...
Yeah.
And I was like, great.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it, though.
I didn't know that.
I did not know.
That's what Samuel does, isn't it? He gets kickbacks everywhere.
I know that now.
Affiliate links and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, So I didn't really know about all of that stuff, but it's all coming to me now.
It's all income stream, isn't it?
Amazing.
It's all part of being an entrepreneur.
Well, Samuel does it now with the bring a friend and all that.
Yeah, so many, yeah.
There we go. Right, guys, let's go and see some properties. Let's go and look at some more projects.
Let's have some fun.
It's been great having you, though.
Thank you for having us.
I know I've enjoyed this one. This one's going to be a bit more fiery, I think.
We'll have to tell you about the space rocket nearly dropped on the boat going across the Atlantic.
Go do it now.
You want to do it now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, yeah. We're about 2-3 days away from Barbados.
Yeah.
We were crossing the Atlantic from Cape Verde, and the European Space Agency launched a space rocket from French Guiana.
Right.
And
for those who criticise Elon Musk and Starlinks, listen what Europeans doing with their
the European Space
station.
Agency started using like Italian rockets and all that sort of thing, whereas they used to use Russian, which are very, very good.
Oh.
So they started having they decided to switch to like
It's not a rocket.
inferior space rockets. So they were having lots of malfunctions. Anyway, whilst we were 3 days away from Barbados, one launched about 10 o'clock at night, local time in French Guiana.
They didn't know that yet.
We didn't know about this, and
Just sailing.
just sailing along, minding our own business in the middle of the Atlantic. You know, we hadn't seen a boat for like nearly 2 weeks.
Probably because it was a missile zone or something.
Yeah, fallout zone. Yeah,
Rocket zone.
There's another funny story I can tell you another time. Going past Cape Canaveral because that was one on the bucket list to actually go past while there was a space launch. That was good. Anyway, that's another story. But yeah, so we were just in the middle of the ocean. You can imagine the oceans. There's no light pollution. You've got stars out.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I got a knock on my door because I'm off shift. It's middle of the night. I got this young French backpacker who didn't know how to sail really, saying like, there's some flares dropped down to the left side of the boat. So I'm thinking, oh. So I run upstairs and there's like loads of smoke and everything. And I said, well, flares normally they come down slowly on a parachute or something, distress flares. And I said, what did it look like? He went like that. And all of a sudden, then you just the whole sky lit up. It was like a meteor going across the sky in slow motion. And you noticed all these big cylinders dropping into the boat beside us to our right. So there was dropping to our left and to our right. So we're right on its path. So we've got this like, I don't know, it's a big rocket, but it was, the whole sky was just like lit up. It's an unbelievable sight. And big chunks dropping into the ocean either side. And then on the BBC, it said like that it dropped safely into the Atlantic.
When it arrived to Barbados, it just started to investigate, and it's found out that it was that rocket, and they say it safely landed in Atlantic Ocean. Safely landed. So I just called the BBC and all others, saying no, it wasn't. It's almost hit our rocket,
it hit our boat.
But no reply.
We had
didn't want to know.
Of course they do.
We had another boat similar to ours, which was about 35 miles southwest of us, who had Starlink. We didn't have Starlink. It's quite in its infancy then, but he had like broadband internet. You could watch Netflix going across the Atlantic. It's brilliant. We were just on the old, sat phone, which is it takes about 6 hours to download any weather information and stuff.
Oh right.
So they saw the sky lit up, and they thought we'd set up some distress flares. So I've now gone back to bed because I'm not on shift till about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm hearing this vibrating going on. And they tried to call my phone like about a dozen times, I think, when I got up and realised International Rescue were on their way to us.
They reported to rescue teams.
So we had the maritime rescue based in Barbados or wherever it was coming out, and all the ships in the area were heading towards us.
And you just sat there like it wasn't us; it was the Italian rocket.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes, honestly, I think it's interesting. One question for you then. Give us a golden nugget of what you think makes an entrepreneur an entrepreneur.
Be fearless. You've got to be fearless in whatever you do. I think you've just got to have, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah. I told someone that yesterday.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
I think you just got to...
And just enjoy.
Yeah. What the heck?
Just enjoy. There's a stress and it's hard journey, but it would be... Everybody would do that if it would be easy.
That's what Samuel teaches when he takes you to Uganda. You did the bungee jumping. Just got to go and do it. Make sure it's tied to your legs first, though.
It's scary. It's hard
do some
work.
I did it the first time. I didn't do it the second time. Because once I'd done it the first time, I was like, it's off my bucket list, right?
Yeah.
And I ain't doing it again.
Yeah,
I don't like free falling. I would jump out of a plane because you got ages. you got ages
before you hit the ground.
The bungee jump is. I've got vertigo, man. So I was in Asim's apartment in Dubai briefly. I only went in there for coffee.
You looked over the side.
Well, I looked out and I was like, oh, what a beautiful view. And I was like, oh no.
Did you want to jump? It's like a magnet, isn't it? It's like you want to jump.
And then I saw
weird sensation.
But I survived. And then I saw a video because I was looking at the things to do in Dubai with Willow for April. And one of the things was to go up to those viewpoints. But one of them's got a glass floor. And I could see it on a video and I was like...
It gives you the willies, doesn't it? Well, you wouldn't know about that.
Just on a video I was screaming. I was like, oh no, can't do that.
So not very nice sensation, is it?
I couldn't even get to sleep last night because I was thinking of this open floor. Like, I was like... But I'm going to do a self-professing plug here. So I'm going to start doing some consultancy for people who want to get into property that maybe can't get on the academy, which is what I would highly recommend people actually do. But a lot of people come to me asking me for advice and help and stuff. So we're going to be doing like a 3-tiered level thing, right? So you either come in low entry, low price point, and we have a group meeting every week. We'll go through what everyone's done that week, what they've struggled with, what they need help with for half an hour. And then we'll do half an hour of training on whatever it is within property purchasing predominantly, because that's my expertise, right? Of like whether it be auctions or bridging finance or raising finance, or do you know what I mean? So that would be like the low entry level, but then the next level up then, which obviously costs a little bit more, you get me one-on-one for an hour and we can run through specifically what we're going to do for them as individuals, and then I'm going to open them up to my broker my architect, my
power team.
solicitor,
Amazing.
my power team, basically.
That
And then we can
sounds-
get them on calls as well. So if anyone needs help getting into the property market or just wants to know how or if you can get into the property market, I'm not going to be training you on rent-to-rents. I'm not going to be helping anybody with sort of deal sourcing and stuff like that because they're not my field of
Did you do any deals?
passion. I did a bit.
Yeah.
But well, I don't enjoy it.
The thing is, once you get that cash flow,
Yeah. I did rent to rents originally, rent to SAs.
Yeah.
They got me where I needed to be in order to do the development.
I think that's what it is.
stepping
It's really good
stone.
for
Yeah, absolutely.
people
Exactly,
starting
out.
got no money.
Yeah. If you already know a bit about property and now you want to like just scale or just learn specifics or you're scared about auctions, you want to get into auctions, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just hit me up on Instagram, YouTube, comment below, whatever. And if you're looking to invest for 25% return in Dubai,
Wow.
then definitely hit me up. Because that's going to be imminent.
That's
the move is
amazing.
imminent.
Brilliant.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming, guys.
All right,
It's been a
pleasure.
pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.